Beautiful. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
You're beautiful, Joe.
Wow, thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome, Joe.
Huh.
A little sparkle in your
I
day
need
there.
a moment now. Wow. But anyways, it's all the random useless info you want to know. It's Friday nights with
Jeff.
and Joe. Thanks again, Jeff, for that lovely little tidbit there. You made my life just a little bit better.
Glad you finally hit the record button.
How was your day going?
Good. So far, so good. Got no complaints. It's a little bit of a rainy, drizzly kind of day, but better than snow, better than super cold.
Keep going.
Yeah. So otherwise, it's pretty good. Well, yeah, I don't really have any plans for today anyway. So I took off yesterday. So I had a nice lazy day yesterday. So I'm really
That
trying
is
to,
nice.
I'd like to go do something today. But a lot of times
Really?
doing something revolves just getting in the car and driving somewhere.
Well, yeah, that's
just getting in the
how it
car and
goes.
going. So we like to call them adventures because we never know where we're going to go. We just go,
Really?
start driving. So find weird places to stop at, cool scenery, cool, maybe a little neat little restaurante.
Now, this is
So-
with the whole family, I take it?
Yeah.
Or just the wife and yourself?
No, I
Or
have to go
just
pick
by
up my
yourself?
Yeah, I wish. I have to go pick up the rug rats after this, and then my wife is going to get done. I said we should maybe all go get lunch.
Oh.
It's a little late, so it might be a late lunch. But
Yeah. Well,
then we might go somewhere. I don't know. And then Sunday, 'cause I have an extra day, essentially. So
Yeah.
kind of waste one going and doing something. So
well, that's good.
kind of a nice day to do it.
It's kind of rainy.
I know we sat and watched movies in the basketball game, the Badger game last night. So yes, the basketball game.
It was a good game to watch.
Yeah,
The outcome was absolutely horrible.
yeah.
but it was
If,
a good
if you're
game
a
to
Florida,
watch.
if you're a Florida fan, it was a great night.
Yeah.
If you're a Badger fan, it was a roller coaster of emotions.
Well, for them
I thought
too.
we were going to win,
it
then I
just-
thought we were going to lose, and then I thought we were going to win, and then we lost.
And then we lost.
So,
Yep. Son of
spoiler if you haven't seen it or taped it or whatever yet.
a recorded it.
But yeah. So. You got plans for the weekend?
Today, which, yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening, this is not Friday night, but I'm glad that you still like to hang out with us and say it's Friday night. It is Saturday morning, and we are doing a little bit of a birthday celebration.
right.
Yeah. So, like, my family, because we're all older now, and no one cares if you get old, we just, like, lump all the birthdays together from, like, a 3-month stint. So we're
So you have
celebrating
4
like
birthdays a year.
yeah.
That's it.
So we're celebrating like I don't think there were any January, so it's like February and March
Gotcha.
birthdays right now. So yeah, we're doing that today, and then tomorrow I don't know what we're doing. We'll find out when we wake up, I suppose.
I was kind of excited to watch the Badgers play at 1:20, but
Not
that's not going to happen.
bro. Yeah. Well, it opens up your day to do something else,
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
If you want to look at it that way.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Better than any other way to look at it. I guess. So, Joe, apparently you have some news stories.
I do.
Let's read the news. Let's read the news. That's not a good one anyway.
I have a news stories.
News stories.
These are a little bit different. And I don't know. I've got like a handful of them. I think I'll just pick and choose here as I go. We're going to skip out on that one. And we'll probably do that one. That one's funny, I think.
This one, the headline
we'll-
is Druggy Parrots
Yeah, we'll
Plunder
skip on that.
Poppy Fields to Feed Opium Addictions.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you want to read more about it, it's on foxnews.com.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I typed in weird news or something like that. They have a whole section for odd news. Maybe with Fox it's odd.
It's kind of funny, actually.
All of Fox News is probably odd, but that's all right.
Depends on your political view.
Well, this one's... I guess I'm not really skipping out on too many of them here, but this allegedly happened in Sheboygan a while ago,
Sheboygan.
right? A young man got stuck in a toy machine.
A long time ago.
Okay, long time
Okay,
ago.
so Joe tells
Well, yeah, I'll read
read
it. Toddler gets stuck in toy machine after climbing inside. Now, this is one of them claw machines.
Yep. Now, this happened at the Piggly Wiggly in Sheboygan, I think, a long, long time ago. Like, I'm talking years ago.
Well, I remember the
But I
news
remember
story
that
now
was
you
like
say
the.
it.
I think that was like the first time it had ever happened. Like, it made national news kind of
It
thing.
did, yeah.
And now kids are just like jumping on a bandwagon.
Yeah, apparently. They didn't want to be like Sheboygan kids.
Apparently.
A mischievous 3-year-old boy who wanted to get his hands on a teddy bear got trapped inside a claw machine after climbing inside. Jamie Bracken Murphy of Tipperary, Ireland. Wow, this is in Ireland. Aye. Was apparently disappointed he didn't win a toy in the toy machine, so he took matters into his own hands. He quickly climbed inside the small flap, but after scooting inside, he noticed he couldn't get out. Wow. His father, Damian Murphy, told Independent IE that it all happened in a matter of seconds when he had taken his eyes off the toddler. We were in a player center here in Nenagh, and I took my eyes off of him for 5 seconds as he walked towards the claw machine, he said. I then heard a muffled complaint. Can you... and I looked up, and he was behind the glass of the machine. Wow. At first, he tried to maneuver his son out, but there was just not enough space. The little boy did have to wait. Did have to wait long as an off-duty fireman at the play center came to his rescue. He was quite experienced in these sort of things, Damien said. He told Jamie to crouch down, move back and forth into the machine, which he did call me, and the fireman shimmied him out.
Okay.
The play center staff told the father that they had never seen a child manage such a feat. Jamie was able to keep the stuffed animal, and he came out of the machine during his rescue.
So kids, it pays to break into these machines. They let you keep the toy.
Yeah, that's always cool.
Good lesson.
Suspect in Massachusetts liquor store robbery found sleeping.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just going to take a little nap here.
Yep. Police in Massachusetts didn't have to look far for the suspect in the knife point robbery of a Pittsfield liquor store. Authorities told Melissa Holden, Melissa Holden was found sleeping in the hallway of a nearby building a short time later with a knife and bottle of vodka and Gatorade. It's good. She's got her electrolytes going.
Yep, stay hydrated.
The very items reported stolen. She was also wearing clothing similar to the suspect seen in the store surveillance video. The Berkshire Eagle reports the 40-year-old Holden... 40
Oh, okay.
year-old Holden was held on $3,000 bail after pleading not guilty to her alleged robbery on Tuesday. Police say the suspect entered the store grabbing the Gatorade from the cooler, asked for 2 pints of vodka, and pulled a knife on the clerk, asked for payment. So that's the story. I wonder if she fell asleep because she was drinking said vodka or if she just needed a nap. I don't know.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I like how her attorney says she has no recollection of any robbery. It's like, she doesn't remember it didn't happen. That's a...
Isn't that how that works? Huh? No, how it goes? This is interesting, and there's a picture here. This is from March 21st, 2017. Up stunt gone wrong.
Up stunt?
Up stunt. Man who flew in lawn chair tied to balloons is fined.
Now, this is recent? I thought I heard this a
Says
while ago.
March 21st, man.
Okay, go ahead.
So, a man who created a scene from the Disney movie Up. Recreated, I'm sorry. A man who recreated a scene. It's like one of the creators. I think I'm going to try that for real. By tying 100 balloons to a chair and floating into the horizon has been slammed by a judge as unconsolably stupid.
Unconsolably stupid. All right.
Bummer. And handed him massive fines.
Why?
Just saw this floating through the skies of Calgary. Hope it's not a stampede. Well, anyways, it's a Twitter post, and I'm looking at the picture here.
It's the guy floating through the sky.
Yeah, I'll post it onto our FB page. Borea, 26, filled 100 balloons with helium and drifted through the clouds above the rodeo fair in a bid to promote his cleaning company.
Oh.
Wow.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But he miscalculated, and rather than soaring into the nearby rodeo race, he kept traveling upward.
Really? That's when you start slowly popping the balloons.
Well, no kidding. You would think. During the half-hour flyby, he claimed to have seen a 747 airplane soaring above him.
Oh, no.
At that point, he hurled himself from the makeshift flying machine and safely parachuted down to the ground, where he was arrested by police.
He had a parachute on the... At least he's smart.
Wow.
I'll give him that.
Judge Bruce Frazier, who handed Borea a fine on Friday, said there was nothing fantastic, fun, or exhilarating about it. Yeah, easy for the judge to say he wasn't up there.
Well,
God,
and
what a
who
putz.
does he care?
I don't
Let the
know.
man do what he wants to do.
There's no precedent for such foolish an escapade. Unabashed, Borea took to the steps of the courthouse to recite a version of former U.S. President John F. Kennedy's speech, "We chose to go to the moon." Borea added that he was planning to apply for hot air balloon license. So that happened.
Again, Fox News. You are all over Fox News today, aren't you?
Well, normally I don't have, there's nothing that comes up from Fox, and because I just go to Google and type weird or odd news.
It's funny how Google automatically sends you to Fox News.
Well, normally no, it's CNN or Huffington Compost is right up there as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind the Huffington Post.
yeah, I don't like any of them. I think they're all useless.
I like Yahoo because it's got like really weird stories.
Really?
Yeah.
I should just go right to Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo's got some, and like then they have the what's the Dear Abby stuff? Oh,
Dear Abby.
yeah. Have you ever heard that or whatever? Where people write into this lady and she offers
No.
advice or whatever. Oh, some are really terrible. Like, I don't like this person and I have to get married to him or something. It's just really off the wall stuff. And she's like,
Don't get married.
yeah, you should probably talk to somebody about that.
Wow.
You should, yeah, you should go on there.
Okay,
You have
well,
the Dear Abby story.
yeah, well, maybe we could pull some of them out.
Okay.
More than 100 diners skip out on restaurant bill in a conga line.
This is classic.
Last month, more than 100 people who said they were celebrating a baptism sat down at a banquet at a restaurant in Spain. Afterward, they formed a conga line and danced out without paying.
That's awesome.
An arrest has been made by Spanish police in the Great Conga Line caper. Oh my God! Late last month, more than 100 people who said they were celebrating a baptism sat down at the banquet. The vino flowed freely.
That's wine.
Yeah, okay. Vino flowed freely. 300 bottles, according to reports.
Oh my God.
No, 30 bottles. Sorry.
I was going to say
I decided to add another zero in there. For,
sensationalized.
the group had
alternate facts.
fake news.
Alternate facts.
The group had appetizers and entrees. As restaurant staff prepared to serve dessert and coffee, the merry celebrants got up to dance in a conga line and danced out of the restaurant and into the night. They danced out on an unpaid bill of about 3,000 euros.
Wow.
I don't know what that is in American dollar. Well, maybe it'll
Probably
tell us.
like 330 or something like that. I don't know what it is. Like
The
10%
newspaper
of church.
says that police have arrested a Romanian man who posed as the godfather of the supposed baptized child.
Did they have a baby there?
I don't know. I'm about to find out. That man is also now suspected of plotting the same scheme in another restaurant 10 miles away. The counterfeit conga dancer paid a €900 deposit, so the theft amount to a little over $2,000.
Sure.
There are no reports that the diners left a tip. If they had, it might have been a note to say Romanians aren't known for conga lines, blah, blah, blah. So I don't even know if there was a baby there or not. That's interesting, though.
That's a great way to get out of a
Yeah.
bill, though.
Mm-hmm.
I read an article about a guy who kept taking dates, like I don't know where he got the dates or whatever, to restaurants, and he would just claim to go to the bathroom and then dip out on him with the bill. So what's worse? What's worse? Getting left at a date or getting left with the bill? Because could you imagine like really falling for this guy?
That's
and,
like
all
a
of sudden
double
he just
whammy, though.
dips?
I mean,
yeah,
because your
and you have
self-esteem
no way to get a
is
hold
just
of him because
crushed,
it's all online,
and you got to pay for the bill.
and you got to pay. And he probably got like the most expensive thing. You know what's really? I keep reading these articles about how like people and going to restaurants and what they buy, like, and what they or order, I should say. It's all based on the price.
Okay.
I've never been that way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've just been spoiled. But at some point, though, I just avoid expensive restaurants. So, like,
Sure.
when I go places, I'm like, well, like, I don't have fancy taste, so I'm not like, oh, steak and lobster,
Yeah.
So I like whatever I like, and I'll order it. But at the same time, I don't control what I order.
That's a
based
really
on
good point.
money.
Yeah, people will sit down and be like, "Oh my god, you see how much that is?" Yeah. If I'm going to go to a fancy restaurant, I'm already knowing that I'm going to pay a bunch of cash. But I don't go, like you said, I don't often go to a fancy restaurant. But I look at the menu, and what I want to eat is what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like waste my time there and get something like haphazardly.
Yeah, if we go to Schwartz's, I'm going to get the prime rib, and I don't care what
Sure.
it costs.
Yeah.
But if we go to like I don't know. If we go, I'm trying to think of like a dinner supper club, whatever. Let's say Schwartz's, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not going to get the steak and lobster either, so I'm not a big lobster fan.
Well, then yeah.
But I have
that
gone
solves
places where
itself.
somebody else is paying, and it's more of like a corporate function event.
And then
And
you have
then game's on.
really.
Well, okay, so Kate's company every year after tax season, they take them to this restaurant. And the big thing is everybody gets steak and lobster. It's like the thing. And so that's the whole point, is that it's like this super fancy meal that you're supposed to go out and indulge yourself. And
But if you don't like lobster, then why get it?
I don't not like lobster.
Okay.
It's not like, oh my God, I got to have the lobster. 95% of the time, if they have, like, they'll have a couple of different options.
Yeah.
I'll get a bigger steak,
Uh-huh.
or I'll get the prime rib if it's available or
Yeah.
whatever, rather than the lobster.
Sure,
Kate
sure.
would rather have 2 lobster tails, and I would rather have the 2 steaks.
Oh man,
So-
I love lobster and I love steak. So for me, it's like
Yeah.
I'll drop some cash for
But like
that.
when we go out to dinner, like in, let's just say, a company we know is paying for it,
Yeah.
and they don't care, and they express that to you,
Mm-hmm.
saying order whatever you want. Then those are the times I do go out and say, okay, I'm gonna order something fancy.
Sure,
Go out. Kind of like a $10 plate of mushrooms or something like that.
totally worth it. By the way,
Not worth
ladies and gentlemen, if you can ever spend $10 on a whole plate of
it.
mushrooms,
Side of mushrooms,
but it's still a whole plate, do it.
and then not eat them all.
I had them for leftovers, brah. Anyways,
So rude.
we charged it to the corporate.
We
credit card.
charged it. I charged it.
Did you even have to explain that one?
No.
No, of course not. All right. Anyways, last story I got for today. Religious TV station accidentally airs porn.
I have to say, it seems like every week you read about something that accidentally plays porn.
Well,
Like either like I've heard the story about like a teacher. Have you seen like a teacher will go to school and they're gonna play a movie or something, and it's like a porno, or it's like a personal porno.
what
Like
the?
I've read those articles.
How do you mix that up?
Have you ever seen the one kid where he
The miracle of life.
like he plugs?
yeah, this is a great
he
idea.
plugs in his laptop to the projector. And there's like he opens up a web browser and it's just porn on the
Oh
front.
no.
Oh yeah.
So when we were in high school, we had this teacher. Well, he's still there, I think. He's a very decorated teacher at this point, but he was odd. He was brand new when I was a freshman.
Yep.
So he got a lot of flack. I mean, he's an odd duck.
Yeah.
He taught science and, that type of
The
stuff.
stereotypical.
Yeah, kind of. But he was a very, very smart man.
Yeah.
Anyways, one of the seniors from my freshman year, this science teacher, there was a science wing built that year. So at the beginning of the year, we started out in his old classroom, and at the end of the year, we transitioned into his new classroom. And one of the first days in class, this senior went in and taped up a bunch of magazine nudies, like ripped them out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Taped them up to the projector screen.
Oh, so he pulled
And then
it
he
down.
rolled it up. So then when the teacher to roll it down, there was
That's actually pretty
these
funny.
nudies.
I mean, it's
Oh
inappropriate,
my God.
but it's funny.
I don't even know if it's inappropriate at that point. That's just round of applause.
Yeah, that's well played.
Way to go. Yeah.
That's well played. Yeah.
So,
Have you seen the thing where you draw on a whiteboard? You draw a penis in the whiteboard in Sharpie, right? And then what you do is then you draw the penis into a cat or a dog or something with dry erase marker. And then when they go to erase the thing, boom, there's the penis left over.
I have not heard this.
I've seen it. We've tried it. For whatever reason, the dry erase then not on that dry erase
Okay.
marker. The dry erase marker will actually pull the Sharpie off. So I
Oh.
think you have to somehow make it. I forget how it works,
Well,
but
I
I
get
think
what
that
you're
prank is just so funny because the teacher's wipes the cat or dog off the thing, and they're
Nope.
like, "What the?" And then they keep trying to rub
Stuck
it.
with a dick.
It's so funny.
Wow.
It's so funny.
Well, anyways, an Islamic TV station in Senegal says it has filed a formal complaint
I assume
against
they've been hacked.
unknown saboteur
Saboteurs.
X for taking over the network and airing pornography instead of its regularly scheduled religious programming. Viewers tuned into Taba TV on Monday afternoon and got a shock when hardcore pornography was aired from 1:10 p.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Wow,
Yeah, that's a good amount of
20
time.
minutes.
Bet you them teens got all
Yeah.
oh God.
Hit record.
Tuba. I don't know. Touba. Tuba. TV on Wednesday called the broadcasting blunder a criminal act and said the formal complaint will make it possible to identify the authors who have an unknown agenda. The broadcaster said its viewers were offended, and it condemned the attempt as a satanic move to sabotage the values it advocates. The privately run station usually broadcasts religious programs advocating Islamic values and teachings, including sermons and prayers. So, whoops-a-daisy,
That's awesome.
someone hacked our TV station. We have one? I was
No.
speaking for them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. That
Read the news. Let's read the news. That's not a good one anyway. Yeah.
is the news that I can
You
find.
Need to know.
So, other than that, Jeff, how are you feeling though? Do you have a rant or anything? Or
I don't know if I have a rant necessarily. I thought we were going to
Wow.
talk about people on the Facebook.
Well, I don't have any. I mean,
No.
I guess I can Google what.
No.
people
I
say.
thought we were going to talk about people who do just give their every moment.
Oh,
updates.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really got.
It's a really interesting thing to think about when you think about the span, because we have been around Facebook since our early 20s,
Yep.
like when it first came out. I think I was still a teen, actually. I was
I jumped on the
18,
Facebook
19.
thing late.
Okay.
I was one of those. Well, I was a hater, I guess. I was like the one person who was like, I'm not doing Facebook because everybody else is doing Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I jumped on my friends every once in a while. I'm like, it's kind of interesting. You get updates on people you're friends with.
Yeah.
Who you don't see every day and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, just do an account now. Now here I am. Now I have an Instagram. No Twitter, thank God.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I wanted Facebook when I was a youngin. When it was first made, it was only allowed for anyone in college.
Yep.
And when I say college, tech schools were not included. At that time, I was going to MATC Madison.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to sign up, but all my friends at UW-Madison, they were all on it. And, I had pictures of myself out with my friends who were, they were there.
Yeah,
And
they put it on their Facebook.
Yep. And I'm like, oh, man, nobody knows. I don't have a tag or anything, I don't even know if you could tag people at that point. That was so early on.
Yeah, I don't know.
But regardless, I'm sure you probably could. It was probably within 6 months then tech schools were allowed to sign on. I remember, too, when high schools were allowed to sign on. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, oh, no, kids are going to wreck everything. And then when it went out to the public, holy cow. And then it was like,
well, then I
Facebook's
think that
ruined.
A lot of people thought that that's when it got ruined. Because then now moms and dads jumped on there and they could see what you were doing and all this other stuff.
Well, but I can see as a kid, and I say kid as in 18, 19, 20, mid-20s, okay? Let's go all that way. That, what do? That's what you do. You post about yourself,
Yeah, well,
I went through that phase. I know for a fact that I post way too much shit. And then, nowadays it'll, come back. I remember this memory you had from 7 years ago. I was like, oh, God, no.
Please tell me to forget.
Can I delete that, Yeah. But nowadays, I use Facebook strictly I'll do the occasional post if there's something that my heart is telling me to post. But more so for, promoting the place where I work or promoting this podcast.
Yeah.
Or, I use it more of a media source rather than what's going on in Joe's life. The other thing, too, that I find with, because I get accused, and rightfully so, of being on Facebook all the time. But it's not so much,
that is a true
I'm not posting things to get likes. That's not my style. I'm not like, oh my God, I need a fish for likes. Here's this picture.
Attention
will you
grabbing.
like it?
Yeah.
I'm reading the stuff that's on there. I have so many different industries or pages and stuff that I think of that as the 21st century newspaper. And
so you're getting articles from
I'm reading stories, I'm reading articles that people used to sit on a train and read a newspaper. Well, I'm just doing it sitting at my desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that.
I find my uncle runs a newspaper in Random Lake. And I will find that when I sit down occasionally and read that stuff in there, I'm looking for the damn like button. Because I'm like, I really like this article. I can't like it because it's a piece of paper.
How can I share this with my friends? And
right,
you can't do that.
Exactly. So that's...
Then you have to actually call them up and be like, hey, I just read this interesting article.
Hold on, let me take a picture and send it to you. So yeah, I think that's kind of my little ditty about Facebook right now.
I was told by my younger cousin, who's not that much younger than me, Facebook is dead, apparently. That it's for old people.
Well, I can see that happening.
That Instagram's the new hip
thing.
thing.
I never understood Instagram.
And I don't get it because it's just a picture, which I get. Pictures are tell 1,000 words.
I lost it.
Mic drop. Literal mic drop. I've heard that Instagram's the place to be and that photos are the new, but I guess my thing is that I like the idea that Facebook, then you can add words and you can actually tell a story. So I think the images just capture a moment, I guess. I don't know. And versus Facebook, there's more to it. And plus, I only use Facebook to stalk people, really. I mean,
really?
Well, no, it's I want to see what my buddies' kids look like, where they're going, what they're doing. It's fun for me. I hardly ever post on Facebook.
Sure.
I mean, if it is, it's you tagging me in a new episode or you tagging me in something we do, whatever. Kate maybe tagging me in something.
Sure.
I'm not a big poster on there. I'm just more of I want to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of you make it as a news source. Mine's more of a keeping up with my friends kind of thing.
Okay.
So, next weekend, there's a bunch of guys are getting together, watch the Final Four, right? So we're having communication on there because we don't have each other's phone numbers. We're not texting each other and everything. It's on Facebook. It's one feed. Okay, yep, this is happening. Here's this, and that. If he shared a document and different things like that. So for me, it's just another platform to connect with people.
Yep.
Versus and plus, I keep clicking on these really terrible news stories about top 10 ways people have died, or crazy things, and that's all I get because of this My Favorite Murder thing. It's terrible stuff. So I think when I click through it, I get more of that than I do actually the friends updates.
Okay.
So, and I'm a big fan of unfollowing people. So I only have, of the 150, I probably only follow 30, 50 people, whatever it is. Because
I don't understand that.
Because I'm still friends with you, and if I search for you, I can look you up and find something. But I don't want to see your daily posts about what you had for lunch or your positive inspirational quote of the day. Like, I don't care about that.
That's interesting because I don't recall ever following anyone. The only people that I want to hear from is
following. Like, it's a way that you can not see them in your news feed, yet you're still friends with them.
Yeah, see, I know nothing about that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's how much I know about Facebook. I just know...
Yeah, I'm sure there's people in your life who keep putting stuff on Facebook that's like, okay, enough. I don't want to hear this anymore.
Okay.
Political or otherwise.
Yeah.
Instead of unfriending them, you just unfollow them and they don't show up on your newsfeed anymore.
Wow. This is awesome.
There's a lot of people on my unfollow list.
Huh.
I didn't even know
Some
people I do follow because they're funny stuff or whatever, but a lot of other people just get me down. It's depressing. I don't want to hear that stuff. So,
yeah, see, people say I use Facebook all the time, and I'm like, I know Facebook. Really?
Yep.
I just have my reason for using Facebook, and that's
you
it.
use it as a news outlet. Now, why don't you use, my iPhone has an app called News, and you just subscribe to different news outlets. So,
well, because it's
and then you just get the top stories.
Because I don't follow Fox News, I don't follow CNN, I don't follow any of those.
Yeah, I know, but you can still.
I follow more of I fucking love science, and I follow futurism.
Just to clarify, I fucking love science is actually a news outlet or a website.
It sure
or whatever
is.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
just
it's not
clarify.
like a major news source. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like Mechanics, the magazine Mechanics. Shoot, what's the?
So it's more of a topic than a news outlet.
Well, sure, yeah. But that's where I get a lot of my stuff is more so articles from those
things you're interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wonder if the news outlet, because there's got to be a better way to do it than through Facebook. It's just what works for you now.
It has all of my stuff that I want to read right there.
Yep.
So
no, I get it.
But yeah, we were gonna talk about those people who do post about every little thing.
Yeah, because we were talking in the Paranormal Palaver, our sister podcast.
Check it out on
earlier
all of the podcast hosting
platforms.
Yeah.
Earlier today about how somebody had a Hotmail account, and we were slightly, in good spirit, ribbing them for having a Hotmail account. And we were joked if they still had a MySpace account. And then that morphed into Facebook account, and then it morphed into people who just constantly are posting stuff.
Yeah.
And that it's like, so it's ironic because
and when
me, and Krista all had one person that popped in our mind of like, I know that person. And we each have somebody who's posts like every day.
You don't mean all of us have one person.
No, I just meant like when you say that to
someone.
That one person.
Yeah,
I should say. So it's funny because you say that and everybody's like, "Yep, I know a person like that."
Yeah.
That they just, it's always
and I guess too
either negative or super positive or whatever.
And this is all personal stuff, right? That they're posting. That you're to clarify.
Say it again.
This is personal stuff. Because for me, I post all the time, but I'm sharing news articles or I'm sharing, and it's not even like political. I'm like. Or a song. I share songs all the time.
Yeah.
So
there's it's more
like look at me or like
kind of attention grabbing kind of stuff. Like, hey, look how awesome I am.
Yeah. I don't want to be labeled as that. So that's why I want some clarification.
It's just
otherwise I'm gonna post a fucking status right now about how Jeff is just making fun of me.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think that some people have. It's not thought provoking, and it's just that's what I want, I guess, in my newsfeed. I want somebody to say like, "Hey, what do you think of this? Oh, that's interesting." Blah blah, and move on. And sometimes the other thing I hate is the political stuff because it's so skewed one way or another that I can't take it. Like I'm okay if you post something and say, look, this is what I've always thought, but this is a new view I had, or this article. Well,
wow, I learned something new today.
yeah,
You know,
everybody
like,
just is
wow.
all like I never forget the
Regurgitates
time
old news.
my buddy posted something about how, the Republican and Democratic Party used to be the same thing, and I might have mentioned this on the podcast earlier, but
Yeah,
how it used to be the same, and then he didn't understand, and it just made him look so stupid. And then it's just like if you're that dumb and you can't admit the fact that you were wrong in this whole thing, and this thing you posted is highly incorrect, like historically inaccurate, then get off my Facebook. You know, I can't take it.
Well, that's the other interesting thing too, is that we all have these little silos that we, like for me, I try to like both sides.
Yeah, I try to
because
see both
somewhere
sides.
in there is the truth. I don't know where it is, but somewhere in there on both sides. And I have friends that are both, right and left, and allegedly I can unfollow them, but I guess I follow everybody, so it all just shows up. And so I'm not going to turn you off because I don't like what you're saying. I'm going to read what you have to say, and then I'm going to just either ignore it, or I'm going to learn from it, or I'm going to, but I'm also not going to comment.
No, and yeah, I'm hardly ever a commenter unless I
Right.
think there's something like hilariously funny.
Oh, like, hey, thanks, dude. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, mine's more like if I think that something's like a funny comment, then I'll add it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to make the funny comment to make myself look
Well,
funny.
good luck.
Yeah. Go bleep yourself. All right.
Oh, yeah. So good old Facebook. And it's interesting, too, because not only in the past, I mean, you were able to sit down at a bar or wherever you hang out with, just like your close-knit friends, and this is the conversations you used to have.
Yeah.
Now, we have the, I don't know if we call it a luxury or the misfortune of posting this out for everyone.
Sure.
And now you're screwed if you mess that up. You
Yeah.
know, like, and also it's just, I don't know. It kind of like what you said, it is kind of useless information that some people are like, oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Other people are like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know?
And that's another thing too about Facebook is that it's sometimes it's so polar, and then fights start. And I know we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't know. I was trying to think of it more lighthearted about people who use Facebook more as not the political platform that we've talked about before, but more of a hey, look at me, and that's. I view more Instagram that way because it is more of pictures of like, hey, look at this really cool thing I'm doing, and like, hey, look how great I look, and look at this cool meal. And I was reading something about how social media is making people depressed because if all I ever see about you is all the cool things you ever do, because you're never posting all the shit you do, like the bad things.
Yep.
And then that tells people that, oh, everybody else is having the best time of their life and I'm not.
Yep.
And
or
then
you
they
don't get enough
depressed.
likes on something.
Yeah.
Then your life is just ruined.
Yeah. So I guess I'm emotionally stable enough to like be okay with it.
Sure.
But I know there are 14-year-old girls and boys out there who this means a lot to them, and they are committing suicide at stupidly
online
alarming
feeds.
Yeah. Online bullying is I'm so glad I didn't have to grow up that way. I mean, we talked earlier about AOL Instant Messenger.
I got bullied right to my face, but that's cool.
Well, but I think that's different. I think you grow from
definitely. Not
I think
hiding
online,
behind.
and then one person makes a comment and everybody gangs up. Like in real life, I don't think everybody's. I think it's different. I think, but anyways, I'm glad I didn't grow up that way. And I remember having AOL Messenger, but it was never a negative thing. It was always like, these are my friends, and these are the ones I talk to, and we're super cool, and we do this, and it was never such a negative platform the way it is now. So.
No, I totally, I remember when it started like that. Like you said before, that's where I learned how to type was on MSN Messenger.
Oh, agree. Yeah, that's where I learned to type.
I hated the typing class in school. They'd put the stupid thing over your keyboard and you typed it, whatever.
All they had to do was pair you up with like one other person, preferably somebody of the opposite sex that you liked.
Yep.
And just like, okay, now I want you to have a conversation, but I want you to type it up.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I got really good at typing that way.
Definitely. I was excited to type. At first, I started out with one finger, like,
oh, yeah.
And then I was,
yeah, now I can type a lot better, all because of that.
Mm-hmm. But
now
that's not the way it is. They're just born with a keyboard.
Well, it's all
they're
slang
not
and everything too, and
Just
autocorrect
letters
Yeah.
and numbers. Yeah, well, cool.
So it kind of leads me to the next topic. So Joe and I didn't have anything for today, to be totally honest. So
As usual.
we're gonna do a 21 question thing.
Yes.
So Joe asked me questions last time.
This
Now,
was a few episodes
Yeah,
ago.
now I'm gonna ask him questions. So this is the first one, which I think is,
You're answering too, bruh.
I know, but this
Okay.
is the first one that popped up.
Uh-oh.
So which I think is hilarious, right?
Okay.
What do you think would be the hardest thing for you to give up? So I thought it was funny because we were just saying about Facebook.
Yeah.
The hardest thing that you think, and I'm thinking like not like food, something essential, more of like a luxury item.
Oh, wow.
Should we narrow it down, or is that too hard? The
Well,
question.
no, I think that's pretty legitimate.
Okay.
Hardest thing to give up. Damn it. Honestly,
Yeah.
and you're gonna laugh at this, probably my dog.
Oh, you'd have to give up your dog.
Yeah. I would have a really hard time with that.
Yeah.
Very hard time with that. I grew up with cats my whole
Okay.
life, and I like cats. Totally fine with
Sure.
cats. I owned a cat when I lived on my own. I still own that cat.
Oh yeah.
But then I
met
got
that cat.
yeah. There you go. We acquired a dog last year, literally. Yeah, last year at Memorial Day.
And you got him as a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like a whole nother experience. And I fell in love with this dog. So
Sure.
I've actually had conversations with Miranda about like, so this dog's gonna die, and I'm looking to you to help me through that, And she's
Sure.
like, why do you think about shit like that?
But that's such a long ways.
It
from now.
is, but at the same
Unless-
time,
Unless somebody hits it with a car.
I
or
don't
something.
sit around
Just hits it
thinking,
with-
"Oh, Miranda, you're gonna die someday."
Sure.
It's gonna happen so much more soon.
Yeah, so much
than
sooner.
I thought about that when I was living on my own with my cat. I'm
Sure,
like, this
sure.
cat's gonna die. I'm gonna know this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
remember it.
Yeah.
So I would have to say that.
That's right. I'm like not a animal
No, you're
person
not at all. That's why.
Like, I-
It's funny.
we were just having a conversation with somebody at work, and they were telling me how they after work they go to a horse farm and feed the horses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't get that at all. Like, and there's more than one person at work. I think there's 3 people that I can think of right off the top of my head who actually have horses. I don't get it. And she's like, yeah, I actually have a dog too. And I'm like, not a dog or a cat person at all. Nothing. Like, I think I'd rather have like a goldfish. But then again, you still have to clean the tank and all that.
Yeah,
I'd
just
rather
flush it.
So yeah, that's funny that you would say that. But yeah, I also have never gotten a puppy. Like, I've never had like a puppy.
Like from the beginning.
Yeah, and like raised it as like a kid,
Well, I think I've had this conversation with you at least, is that this dog to me has been like a kid.
Sure.
Where
yeah.
I raised it, or we raised it from little on, and now I'm watching it grow, and it's
Yeah,
learning things, and
emotional
it's like, oh my
steps and
god,
stuff,
So, what about you?
Hardest thing to give up on. I think I could give up TV for a while.
Okay,
I think I could give up video games for a while, like forever, ever. I don't think I'd be able to give up. I'd have to have one or the other, just sort of entertainment, because that's. I think if I had to give up, I think it would be the sense of being able to drive.
wow,
So like, if I couldn't drive, like
That's
whether
a
it be
huge
like
point, yeah.
like either let's say you get a DUI and you can't they take your license away, or another reason you get your license taken
Who
away.
knows, yeah.
I don't know. Those are the only reasons people get it taken away.
well, you
that
when
I
you
can
get
think
older,
of. Yeah, or the sense of freedom.
yeah,
And like for me and we talked about going on drives is a big thing for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so yesterday I dropped my kids off at my parents, and I was like, I want a quick run to the Duluth Trading Company store down in Port Washington, because
Mm-hmm.
they live on the south side of Sheboygan. I'm like, it's only a 25-minute drive. My mom had something to return anyway, so I quick ran down there and I tried some stuff on before I bought it online. And I was able to do that. A quick boom, boom, go. And,
yeah.
I like that, that sense of freedom. Even, obviously I drive to work and back, but, I always find it funny how when people are walking to work or biking to work, and I'm just like, what happened in your life that you don't have a car, and around here you can buy cars pretty cheap. But I mean, people's lives, for me, $500 is cheap, but at the same time, for somebody else, it might not be that cheap.
Yeah.
So to always have to rely on somebody else for a ride, or to leave an hour or two beforehand to make sure you get to work on time, or all this other stuff, and not having the freedom to just go and do whatever you want. And I think the car represents that freedom for me.
That's a good point. And two, like, I'm not gonna lie though. Like, if I lived in a city and my place where I worked was, in walking distance, I would walk. I would totally walk.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I love driving. I do. But
Yeah.
when you're driving like 10 blocks, that's a waste of time for me. I just
Yeah,
get
10
out.
blocks is almost a mile.
Well,
I
still
suppose that's
walking
not
a
that
mile.
bad.
Yeah. But that's
Like
what
10 minutes.
around here though. Because
Oh,
we
yeah.
live in a
Yeah.
rural area.
Yeah.
You got to drive everywhere.
Sure,
And
when
I've
I lived
taken
in
many road trips, and it's totally worth it.
Yeah, when I've lived in San Diego, I've been able to walk to some place.
Mhm.
But I also had a little scooter, which was great because you could
Those
zip
are
in and
nice,
around,
too,
you
yeah.
know? And
I think I like that wide open feeling. And you're
okay.
somebody who drives with your windows down, right?
all the time, yeah.
I do too, but like also, I don't know. I just have to be in the mood for it.
Oh, okay.
I like a motorcycle where it's just that's
Sure.
you. You've got
Yeah.
that. You know,
Mhm.
when you're in a car, I'm like, I'm in a house.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Like,
But I
protects
do
me in my little
sometimes like that
place.
where, like, especially at night, where if you close everything up and it's just the dash lights are on and everything's dark, I do like that too.
Yeah, that's
like you
sweet.
feel like you're in like a time capsule, like a time machine.
You're in a spaceship, man.
All right.
Jeff in a spaceship.
Something or someone you miss most from your childhood.
Goodness.
I'm skipping through just finding the good ones.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because we talked about this earlier on Paranormal Palaver about how. Oh wait, no, we talked about it off mic about your dream and how you might be missing certain things
Right.
in the
Mhm.
past.
Man, like someone or something. Just
Yeah, and you
someone?
can do. I mean, what's something you miss? I mean, everybody misses someone.
I miss. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. But this is truly something that I still struggle with to this day. Is very. I mean, you get around it, but I miss that legitimate free feeling, especially in summertime.
Oh,
Like
where
when
you
I
have
was a kid in
no
summertime,
job.
no job, no. You literally. I ran around from sun up to sundown, and then when the lights came on the street, you were supposed to be in the yard. All my friends just came over to my yard, and we just played capture the flag or whatever. You didn't.
Sure.
You did not think about anything that was any. And nowadays too, like you'll have a bonfire, you'll have friends over, and it's a great time. You really enjoy the time. But there's always something in the back of your mind that you're thinking about, like, oh, I got
gotta
a
get
mortgage
up in the
payment.
morning.
I got, whatever it is.
Yeah,
That I totally miss that
sure.
more than probably anything in my life.
And what time? I mean, are you talking like elementary school, middle school,
Yeah.
high school?
Probably, well, yeah. Oh, jeez, that's an interesting.
Because
time,
high
too.
school, like, I had a job.
right? I would have to say my most free time in my life,
Yeah.
as a young adult, was right when I graduated high school. That summertime from senior year to when you start school or
Yeah.
going to work or whatever. I had the world by the balls.
Okay.
I just partied all summer long.
Yeah.
There wasn't a care in the world. I was like excited about my future.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not excited about my future now, but it was more of like I am literally entering the frontier.
Yeah. You can do anything you want.
Exactly. Until the world turns around and shits in your face. But that's cool.
That's what happens.
But like as a kid, it was a different feeling. It was
Yeah.
something that you didn't even know existed, you know? Whereas when you grow up a little bit, then you're like, oh, yes, I've got everything I need, And then you're.
So I think when we were kids, I remember specifically in middle school, we were allowed to stay home by ourselves in the summer.
Okay, yep.
The problem is my sister and I lived so far out in the middle of nowhere that we couldn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
We had to like bike into town, and it was like, I don't really want to bike half hour
Sure.
to go see my friend. Not every once in a while you would, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be the biggest deal, but so I remember my mom would give us a list of chores to do just to keep us busy kind of thing. And then we would sit around and play Monopoly or watch movies or something. Like, it
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
very... It was like, oh my God, this is the best time of my life. Now, that was middle school. Now, that's why I think once I was able to drive, and then in high school, I had a job right when I got to be 16, and it was a crap job, but it was like 7 to 3.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so bad where I could get done with work and we could, if I want to do something, that's fine. Getting up in the morning wasn't that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it was hard for me, but it's not like a 5 a.m. job or
Yeah.
whatever. It was definitely my first real job too. So getting a little bit of money, having some freedom,
Yeah.
and then on the weekends, I do remember being like, look, I'm going here. And, it was like, okay, I could go where I wanted to go. And it was hey, we're going to go to Milwaukee and we're going to go visit our friends, or hey, we're going to go here and we're going to go, and in high school, we went to school at one place, but then everybody was from different parts of the country, the world,
Right, right.
from Wisconsin areas. So it was like, hey, we're going to go visit this dude. And I do remember I always took a 2-week vacation and went to Washington, D.C.
Oh, nice.
Where my friend's dad lived. And, that was always a lot of fun,
Sure.
too. But I didn't really have the week, the summer the way you talk about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was one time when I was full-blown adult, or there's always been a couple where it's like, wow, this is an experience that I'm, and one of them has to do with D.C. I went and visited a friend of mine out there, and he was, it was one of those things where you didn't know what was going to happen, but like anything that could happen totally happened. It was just like awesome. And I didn't, it wasn't until I was like flying back home that I was like, oh yeah, I have things,
Yeah.
So they come up every once in a while, but the older you get, the more it's like, I got things.
I definitely think, for me anyway, the thing I miss, and I don't want to go to childhood because I don't know if I miss anything other than like just the excitement of getting a new toy. I think is for me, like I remember first getting my like Turtles, like were a big thing for me, Ninja Turtles, and then I got like I remember getting a Super Nintendo, and like that changed my life essentially. I mean, and then I bought myself a Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
and so I went along and did all these different things. To have that freedom of like, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play the shit out of this. And, even if it is Turtles, and, like, then you, in your mind and crazy imagination. But the one thing I miss about, and I'm going to call childhood high school, would be my two best friends and hanging out. And it would be those 2 weeks in D.C. We also lived together when we lived in San Diego, the three of us together in the same place. And just those memories are, something I think about a lot, and how much fun it was and how much I miss. Mm-hmm. We all had jobs, but we were still old enough. We were like, 21, 22 to just do whatever we wanted.
Right, right.
And to have a little bit of money, not a lot of responsibility. I think those were definitely the times that I miss the most. So,
both of these have a theme of freedom.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's,
Yeah.
I don't know if I really miss anybody from, where we at with time? Just so we're curious.
I got 53 minutes on here.
Okay. So let's do a couple more.
Yeah.
What scares you the most and why?
Wow. Scares me the most nowadays. My identity getting stolen.
Oh, really?
Yep. That's my biggest fear.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's just so terrible, and it's so weaselly, and two, I guess I don't understand it enough to be like, oh, there's a way out of it if you get your identity stolen. Because for me, all I've heard is just horror stories. And I'm not even talking the financial side of it. I'm talking like someone literally having your social security number, and that's not you anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
So
you have to re-register as a human being type of thing.
Wow, that's pretty. I don't think you have enough money for somebody to do that.
Well,
yeah.
they get your social security number. There's a lot of people who don't have enough money to do a lot of things, but they still do them.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have kids, so my fear is something were to happen to those two kids. Sure. And I don't mean, like, if they got injured, that doesn't scare me so much, but, like, abductions or, like, sexual predators.
That flashed in my
out.
mind because I listened to a lot of those scary stories, or, like, from the dark or black web or whatever, you know, and it's just, those are so fun.
Yeah, and that's why I think I'm, like, super paranoid around stuff, and my daughter's, she's 4. She loves everybody. Everybody's her best friend and stuff. And it just, that kind of thing freaks me out.
Stranger danger, man.
Yeah. I mean, and today's world we live in, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
It's just, I read an article yesterday about a lady who chronicled the fact that her husband was a rapist. And she never knew it until, like, slowly the pieces started to fall in together. And she eventually went to the cops or whatever. It was just like, I mean, I don't know. It's weird how, again, you don't know who you're living with and who the people are around you or whatever. Yeah. So other than the kids thing, because that's an easy answer in my opinion. Yeah. And same with my wife too. I don't want anything bad to happen to her.
Of course,
and leave me with 2 kids. We always have that joke. We're like, you better not leave me. I can't take care of these 2 kids. I think the big thing would be, I think lose my income going away.
Okay.
Like, like if I lost my job or was fired or whatever and didn't have a fallback option,
Yeah.
that would scare me because so much of what I am with my family is the breadwinner. You know,
Yeah.
I bring in more money and whatnot because Kate's a part-time stay-at-home mom. So that would freak me out. And the fact that, like, we like to have a nice lifestyle, and part of that is having a good job, having good insurance. You know, our company is a really great company, in my opinion.
Well, of course,
done a lot of really good things for me and my family, and I think that would definitely scare me.
Yeah.
You know, so
That is scary.
Tell me somebody you really admire. Tell me about somebody you really admire.
So I've actually struggled with this a lot throughout my life. Like whenever there's like an icebreaker thing, or people are like, "Oh, who do you look up to?" And I mean, the easy answer is obviously your dad, your old man. You know,
Sure.
Like he's the guy that you look up to as a young man. You look up to your dad.
Real quick, not to interrupt, but I remember having to write a article in senior year or junior year, I think, and the whole thing was, what was your morality? And so it's about anything you want, why you're who you are, right? And I had wrote in there that like most boys, I should say, want to grow up to be like their father.
Yeah.
And I was shocked at the feedback I got that that's not always true. In my head, I always assumed it was, but I guess I've always had a good relationship with my dad, who somebody is I want to grow up to be.
Yeah.
And same with you're saying this
Yeah,
now, but
yeah.
about how he expressed to me a couple different stories, true life. He's like, this guy didn't want to be like his dad, you know, and obviously there's a lot of bad stories out there that we can all put together what it might be, but I just thought it was interesting that you and I had both the same idea until somebody shattered that glass of like, not necessarily, buddy. So it might just be like,
There's a lot of people that have
what
daddy
we've
issues.
grown up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and so to go along with that, I mean, you have your dad, and to go along with that, even you have your grandfathers. Or I had two grandfathers. I had one, my mom's dad, and then my dad's dad. My dad's dad is still around. He's my last grandparent.
Okay.
And both of them did very amazing things just in their lives in general. I did not know my mom's dad. He passed away when I was in 8th grade. So I didn't know him to the point of like what I know my dad's dad now.
Sure,
Because I'm an adult and I'm able to ask adult questions and things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, I think that those two are up there with my dad. Like, oh, duh, you expect that. There is one gentleman who will always stand out to me. He came around in my life, my early 20s. He was an ex's of mine's father,
Oh, okay.
who was a wonderful man, and
Sure.
still is, obviously. For me, I was starting out. I was young in my professional career, and he was basically my compass for that.
Okay.
I've always enjoyed leadership in some way, shape, or form, and he's a VP of a construction business, and his story is actually quite amazing. They started out with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually had to decide whether or not they were going to spend the $5 they had. Do I put gas in the truck or do I get food? You know, that type of story. So he laid concrete for the latter part of his life, and then he opened his own construction business based out of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And then a company out of Fond du Lac called him up and said, "Hey, you're taking our business.
I do remember. Yeah.
You're taking our business. Do you want to come work for us?" And he negotiated basically his salary plus some.
Sure.
So he's set. You know what I mean?
To come from nothing now is.
And not only that, but the thing about him is and was his personality and his lightheartedness, his jovialness. And you'd sit down with a problem with him, and he'd get serious. Like, okay, this is how we're going to figure it out. But then after that, it was just, I don't want to say celebration, but it was like, and now we're done. You know, it's like, you did it, you know, but he always emphasized the hard work that has to go into those types of situations. He's like, you're not going to get anywhere. Don't fool yourself. He always used to say, I'll brain fuck you. He's like, I'll brain fuck you with this idea here, but you cannot just walk into a situation. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to work your ass off for it.
Yeah.
And so that was, for me, he will always be one of those guys. And two, to this day, and we're talking 7 years ago, I can call him up and he'll be like, "Oh man, how you doing?" And he'll invite me over to his office or whatever.
Sure.
And so for me, on the outside of my family, he probably has to be the guy who I've looked up to the most.
Okay.
So sorry for that rant.
No, I was good because I was trying to think of somebody else. I don't know. Like you said, the dad's the obvious one. I mean,
Yeah.
I think my dad, and it's been said that my dad knows a lot about everything, essentially.
Sure.
So how to fix things. He just knows how to do it all, and you go to him with any problem, he always seems to know what to say or what to do about it. And he came from a very, I don't want to say poor, but they were not well off at all.
Yeah.
And he's gone on to have a very good job, very good career, all that kind of stuff. Versus some of his sisters and brothers, didn't always grow up that, have those life outside of that. They kind of got stuck in a rut or whatever they had. But so he really made it, kind of like what you were talking about too with the other guy. I'm trying to think, like, I don't remember any sort of teachers at all who really
I know
helped me out, and I was trying to think like an
time.
uncle or
See, and it's interesting too for me, not to cut you off.
no,
but
I don't have anything really.
As you're talking, I'm sitting here like, because I categorize things in my brain. I would assume all of us do, or some people do. I don't know.
So.
But like, I was thinking about the professional side of things. I have a whole nother guy who helped me out personally, in like my personal life. Who,
Sure,
and
yeah.
it's like, I owe him a lot of who I am today. Because of the things he has taught me, and even to this day, again, I called him just the other day on just some weird advice on one little thing, and he was like, "I have a theory on that," So I don't think some people are like, "Yes, I have this one man who I have looked up to."
Yeah,
my life.
he's
But
been in
like,
my life forever.
I don't have just one guy, And
See, the problem is that I always feel like I moved around so much. Like I went to a Catholic middle school my whole career, or up until 8th grade. And then I went to a whole nother Catholic high school. And so at that point, I cut all my friends off, essentially, and went to a whole new group of friends, right? And then after that, I started all over, and I went to a year of one college. Then I went to another year of college. Then I dropped out of that college and went to work for this thing. And then after that, I went back to the first college. And then I went to San Diego for 3 years. And I came back. Like, I don't think I've ever been around in one spot long enough where I was like, okay, there's one guiding, influence. Now, the one thing I will say is that I worked with a guy in San Diego who I would call him like my cool uncle, I guess, there. And he was kind of just like, he was really like, just introspective regarding life, I guess.
Okay.
Like, he was very much just relaxed and cool about everything. And he's, I remember him telling me how he did cocaine a couple times, like, it's not so bad.
As you do.
He's like, it's not so bad if you only do it every once in a while. I was like, okay. And he's...
Moderation is key.
and he had kids, and he was super cool. And I remember he said, because they would have Charger games on, and he'd invite me over. And I'm like, I'm really not a big Chargers fan. I'm a big Packer fan, and I follow everything. But I know enough about sports I could follow along, obviously, in NFL and, the players and all this other stuff. And he's like, look, Jeff, you moved to San Diego. You drink our beer.
Oh, God.
You have sex with our women. You can root for our football team. And then ever since then, I've been like, all right, I guess I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh, man.
It was just one of the funniest things. He looks at you like he's giving you this Yoda-like advice.
Yeah,
He busts out. And he obviously did not say have sex with our women.
Well, it makes sense,
He used
though.
a different word. But it was the funniest thing he ever said to me. What the sad part is that I moved back, and then I find out he died. And I have...
Really?
The sad part is I have no idea how or why. Like, he was in good health when I was there. But within the 2 or 3 years after I left, he just passed. And
Wow.
I've always been really curious to ask, but I have no way of, I don't want to reach out on Facebook like, hey, I know you, to a mutual coworker or whatever. Like, hey, I know I haven't been in touch, but what happened? It's just one of those things if it came up organically, of course. But
Wow.
that'd be the only thing. And he didn't inspire me. I mean, he's one of the reasons I actually moved back is because him and his wife both worked 2 jobs, and they had 2 kids, and they could barely afford the house they were in. And he's like, it's just a struggle all the time. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to work so much just to live. I want to.
Exactly.
just to barely get by. I was like, I'm moving back, and now it's like we only have 1.5 jobs and we're doing fine, and so I think that's a big difference. So
cool.
Yeah. Are we at time or we got one more?
We could probably do one more.
Okay. So the last one was if you won the lottery.
Oh God.
Let's do 3 things. The first, not for either the first 3 things or
how much money are we talking
let's
here?
say like 300, or let's say 500 million. Like
500.
because now they've
$500 million.
$500 million. So like money beyond your
in
dreams.
your pocket.
Yeah,
Not
cash
after tax.
Yep. Somebody literally gave you a stack of
rock. Oh my God.
So you get three things you would do. So first thing I'm doing, I'm taking a long vacation.
Yeah.
Because people are going to know you won the lottery.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get the bleep out of here. And that would be my first thing. Because and then what I would do is find a way to split all the money up.
Okay.
So what I would be is, so there's rules and tax rules where you can give X amount of dollars to people without it being taxed.
Okay.
A year. So and each person could. So I could give that money away and Kate could give that money away.
Sure.
So I think it's like $13,500 or something, $1,000 only. So it's not a lot. But then you theoretically could give a whole bunch of people money without it being taxed. So an idea, and I've got a large family, so I'm just like, I would just write a bunch of checks for $13,500 and essentially just hand them out to everybody and be like, look, this is all you're ever getting. Okay. And that would be the thing. My dad said this to me once. He's like, all I would do is write the checks and be like, this is all you're ever getting. If you'll ever come back to me, I'm cutting you off. I'll never talk to you again. Like really make it drastic and extreme because you never know who's going to come out of the woodwork at that point. Yeah. And just write a list down of everybody and then obviously my friends, I'd give them more. The problem is you can't really, I would essentially give them a credit card and be like, here, just blow whatever you want and I'll pay the bill on it essentially or whatever. But
right.
Hook up everybody I know. Like my parents, they want a new house or whatever. Obviously, you spread the wealth. With that kind of money, there's no reason to hoard it all for yourself.
Yeah.
I read an article about how the 20 richest people, and Bill Gates was like number 18. Like all the Rockefellers and all that, they had all this money. And only one of the guys, when he died, gave it all to his kids. The other ones all spread the wealth throughout all those different charities. And the one guy had a quote, and he said, if you die rich, you were truly a poor man or something along those lines. I was like, that's really cool that, I don't want to die rich. I want to die helping people.
Sure.
My money has to go more than just me. Now, granted, giving my money to my family and friends, that's slightly selfish. But at the same time, if my sister won the lottery, I better be getting a lot of money. Like that. I think it's almost like not an owed thing, but just like, come on, I'm a little. Granted, there'd be other charities and stuff I would give money to, and those would all be tax free. So it's I would give some money to my old high school. It's a private school. Name the gym after me or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other places I would donate to. But
sure.
Those are the top 2. So go ahead. I know you've got something to say.
Well, I'm a little different.
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm curious what you're going to say here. Because I think you're a little more greedy.
Well, it will definitely be portrayed as that. I would more so.
Brace yourself, folks.
So you win that much money, and my parents would everything be paid off for them.
Sure.
I don't care what the tax things are; they just get paid off.
See, okay.
They work their asses off.
I look at it as a reason to only give people 13.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Because you could do more than that. Well, then you have to pay taxes on it. Because then that's not that's a stupid way to spend your money.
Yeah.
Some people maybe get 2 years worth or whatever. I don't know. So go ahead.
I would. My biggest thing is that I would somehow, for whatever it would be, I'd create a business.
Oh, okay.
I would start a company, and I would employ the people who wanted my money.
See, the problem with that is what happens when you fire them, then you're basically screwed then.
Well,
they're screwed.
Not necessarily.
Like, if I had a job...
Let's look at our owners right now.
Okay.
Everybody's on the payroll.
Yes.
And they do some work.
Yes.
But
it's a billion-dollar corporation.
Right.
So this is what happens though, like eventually runs out. You have no more income every year.
No, it's a business. So unless the business fails.
Yeah, so what business are you going to do that?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Maybe this.
So I thought you were theoretically making a business just to make a business. You're actually going to
I would buy
Make
one,
money.
or I would, I would a successful business.
I got what you're
I would
going with.
invest or whatever.
So you would buy a local cheese place and then just hire all your people to do some random office
if they
job.
wanted to.
Sure.
I mean, that would be the way because
they'd work from
I have a
home.
really hard time. Like, I have a hard time asking for money, even if I'm in trouble.
I agree.
You know, so
Lot of
like, I
pride
just
there.
have a really hard time giving money. I do. I just have a hard
know.
time with that
See, I give money to
because
go
money
away.
doesn't
Go
fix
away.
anything.
Yeah, go away. I don't want to hear you. See, that's the thing. So like, I've thought about this too. Let's just say I won the lottery, and I then created old school media business.
Sure.
And all the three of us would do, and we've talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Of having a business. I would then write a contract saying, I will employ you for 20 years at this amount, because even if we got mad at each other and we blew this whole thing apart, that's really unfair for you to quit your job thinking that, well, Jeff's going to pay me the same amount plus a little more to do this, but yet at the same time, we can do a fight and you're effed, and then you got to start all over at a different company or...
Yeah.
cool
Well, see, and the other
back.
thing too is diversification. So you don't just start one company; you
Sure.
invest in lots of different ones. That's the starting amount that you get is the 500,000
See,
million.
the other thing too is
You have to expand that. You have to
if I
grow
made that amount of money, it would be the least amount of work possible.
Oh man,
I
I would
do
get
anything.
to work then.
No.
That's when I would
See,
start.
I think that's where
working.
we're different. So you would be like, all right, let's make more money. I'm just
Right.
like, how can we live off the interest for the rest of my life? And,
Yeah.
just travel and have
See,
a
but
luxury.
I need to work. I need to do something.
I don't
Sure, I
need
need some downtime, but I've done it where I don't work, and I hate myself when I
would
don't
travel
work.
all the time.
Sure.
I would literally, get the RV.
Yeah,
Get the RV and just start driving around.
yeah.
That's what
Which
I
you
would
could
do that
do.
for a year.
You could do that.
That
But
would
the other thing too is, so you own all these different things. You travel and you hire.
Yeah. See, I don't want that responsibility either then.
You don't want the responsibility?
No. See, then it's like, what if your company fails and you fail your workers?
But again, you hire them as a CEO or whatever.
Yeah, and what if they fail? It's
Well,
still on
then
you. It's
that's-
still your butt.
Well, but they are the ones who lost the money then. I mean,
Sure.
I'm fine. I've got other ones that are working for me.
So you have this company that you know is going to fail. You just put a
No,
bunch of people you know in.
I don't
just-
think of a company. You don't start a company thinking it's going to fail unless
I
you're
get
Enron.
that.
Then you're like, yeah, we're going to fuck this up,
Wow.
But you don't start a company expecting it to drop off,
You could put them in charge of a company that's less
Gonna win.
potentially, less
But also, as a smart investor, you would hopefully,
oh yeah.
not
But I'm just
set it up.
I'm
like
just
that.
saying, if you got a dunce in the room, you don't want to put him in charge of.
Oh no,
No, that's
They'd
why
be-
you put
they'd
him
be
on
the payroll, and they'd probably do like a report every month.
Sure.
That's it.
Did you hear? There's a guy who's married to one of the Sargento girls.
Okay.
And he's such a fuck up, I guess, that
God.
they were just like, here's a little bit of money, just go sit at home, and just here's your allowance. And he's like, awesome. I was like, that's what I want to do. Like they tried
would
to hire
hate
him.
myself.
They tried to hire him, and he was just like no good at it, or what? I don't know what they tried to put him. It's a rumor I heard.
Well, they wouldn't
So-
get any allowance from me then. If
Should
they're
have
no
said
good.
Sargento.
Well, either way, but
Any
they
random
wouldn't get
cheese
an
place.
allowance from me then because
But it was like, it's you essentially like, yeah, it's family at that point. He had been married to her for so long.
well,
And essentially, it was just like, I'd rather pay you to go home than to pay you to be here and screw everything up. And all he wanted money was for us to do his four-wheeling and fishing or whatever. And so, I mean, they were like, okay,
But
here's
still,
a couple bucks and
what-
go have fun.
what is he? So he married into that?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not owed a damn thing.
Yes. But it is family, though, at that point. And you don't have kids. Like, it's kind of like you make your daughter happy by supporting the husband. He makes her happy, and so you're okay with it.
I wonder if
At
that's
that point,
true.
Joe, they have so much money anyway. It's like a drop in the bucket for them. Here's $20,000. Go buy yourself a new boat. I don't want to see you till
20
Christmas.
grand can go right back into the business and
Oh,
buy a new
God.
machine. That-
Drops and buckets. Drops and
But
buckets.
what we fight for that kind of money all the
No.
time.
So that's different.
Capital money.
That's different because we have to talk about this off mic because we can't talk about a lot of what we want to talk about. But that right there, that's different money because one part goes to the owner and one part stays within the business.
Yeah, but what if the owner gives it back to the business?
Not all of it.
What if he does?
He doesn't. No,
But what
no,
if he
no
does?
owner does that.
Why wouldn't I do that? If I want this business to succeed,
because you want to have enough money for other stuff that you're going to do.
I survived off of $20,000 a year
Sure.
for years.
Yeah.
I can continue to do
But
that.
once you get used to $20 million a year,
What if you don't
live
get
to
used to
20
it?
million?
What if you don't put yourself in that situation
No,
to get used
you
to
would.
it?
Okay, Joe, you would get so corrupt so quickly.
No.
Yeah, you would.
That's the point. That's
you
why
you think
have
you would
to-
stay grounded, and
You have to.
I'm
That's
telling
why I
you
would
you
continue to work. Because the moment I would use that money, I'd get corrupt. Yeah,
And then the money
I
would
don't
consume
want
you,
that.
though.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want that. I want to continue to work. I want to continue to grow this money. I want it to be here for thousands of
I
years
think
later.
every business owner starts that way, and I'm sure our business owner started that way. But in the end of the day, he still
he's
gave it
also
up.
very old.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to be working at that age. I mean, a lot of people retired at that point. He finally retired.
He retired way late,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he continued
but
to work.
he retired. Okay, he officially retired. He was out of the business way before that.
He still comes in and says, I want this done, and it happens.
Well, obviously he's the owner. He can do it. He snaps his fingers. People jump.
Right.
I think it's funny that you and I have a very different view on that.
I feel like you work for the money that you have.
But we're talking
Even
about
if you're
giving money.
For me, yeah, you're given $500 million. That's perfect. That's the great way to start out a successful business.
See, I would give enough money everywhere that everybody would be happy. I would use that money to give everybody money to be happy. And granted, money doesn't buy happiness.
Does it?
I'm not saying that, but at least here's money. Pay off your bills. Reset your life. Get your shit back together. Don't come talk to me for money anymore. That'd be my thing. I'll see you at the holidays. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Hope Uncle Jeff gives me a great present this year.
Hell
Last year,
no.
he just give me a pen. God.
Pen and
Was-
a pineapple.
Said Jeff is awesome on it. So dumb.
That's awesome. No, I'd still be a great. I don't know. See, I would have. I think I would be a struggle to figure out how much money to give people though. So I'm just. I that's what I would do. I would just. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with you as a worker. I just want to give you money and you go away from me.
But you hire people to deal with those people.
No. See, again, then it's just you're giving yourself more work and more headaches. I think that's what it is. You think it would be
But
easy.
no, I don't think it'll be easy at all.
Oh, okay.
I want that.
See,
I
want it to
want
be
the
easy.
work.
I want easy. I want beach, Mai Tais, chicks in bikinis. Well, yeah. The third thing I would do, divorce. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
So,
I would
anyone
have to
need a
give
job,
I would.
come and talk to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If we won the lottery, okay. So my third thing would do is then to do the podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Because then that would give me something to do, just not an everyday thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably end up volunteering, and I like the Special Olympics. And
Well,
stuff
that's
like
just
that.
it. I mean, yeah, there would be the charities and the, I'm really big into the arts.
Board of directors.
So,
yeah.
there's a, I'm going to plug something here. I think I plugged it back when we were doing the music podcast. But
Oh yeah, with the
in
plate.
Plymouth,
Mhm.
there's Mill Street Guild. I was a part of the group that made that, and it's still going on to this day. But that's always been something in the back of my mind that I was like, I could own that. That could be mine.
Sure.
Like, But
But that's hard to do when you have a 40-hour week job too.
oh, of course it is, and that's why I'm not a part of it anymore. But if I was given $500 million, I'd be like, "Yep, I'm buying that."
Yeah.
And
that
then-
would, see that I would do something small like that where you're like, okay, we're gonna put on 3 plays a year.
Mhm.
All I'm gonna do is kind of fund it and help with the small decisions or whatever. Or
Well,
the
right.
over
Yeah. Mhm.
that I could see, but
That's what
you're
I'm
talking.
thinking.
You're talking construction companies, and you're
Well,
talking
But
cheese
as
factories.
a business owner, you don't make all the decisions anyways.
I could see doing a jeans. I would just want a company that would make me jeans. Like custom made jeans, and then everybody else, they can make jeans for everybody else too.
That's awesome.
Be like, I want this jean and make it, and then I go and pick it up. And then
There's
do the
also
best.
a group in a not for profit in Random Lake, and they probably wouldn't have to worry about a single cent. For
Sure.
as long as
Sure.
I,
Agreed. And there's stuff that's
those
close
types
to
of
my
groups,
heart.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I worked for. I don't know if we talked about. I worked for RCS in Sheboygan, which is the Rehabilitation Center in
Oh,
Sheboygan.
okay.
So
Yep.
a lot of physically and mentally disabled individuals there.
Mm-hmm.
And that just changed my. I mean, as a 16-year-old kid, that just
Oh, I'm
it
sure.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
Especially because I came from like privilege, relatively normal white male.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get exposed to these.
Relatively
I say
normal.
relatively, allegedly. And so you get exposed to these people who do struggle with something that they were born with, and yet they had a better positive outlook on life than me as a snotty, probably a pretty shitty 16-year-old kid. I remember this one guy, and he had this. It was really funny, but he had this like little magnet, and he was always had it by him, and he always always knew where it was and everything. I was like, dude, what's with you and the magnet? Like, at that point, it was good enough I could just kind of joke around or whatever. He's like, oh, that's in case my heart dies. You just wave that over my heart. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, it jumps. I was like, are you, like, I would be playing with it. Like, I don't know how it works.
His
or whatever.
lifeline.
He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to give that back to you now.
He probably has a magnet in there, huh?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like I said, that was damn near half my life ago. But I remember that, and it was just funny.
That's amazing.
So yeah, the one guy always did Special Olympics, and he was like a world-class Special Olympics kid.
That's awesome.
Super cool guy and everything. Yeah, but I remember like, this is a bad story, but so this place in Sheboygan, right? And somebody had written some graffiti, like derogatory graffiti, on the wall of this place, and I'm like,
God.
I was so mad. I was like, dude, they were born that way. It's not like I don't know. It ruined. And then, but they were kind of bummed about it, and then they would, obviously somebody cleaned it up or whatever, and it was just, the look on their faces was just like, come on, man. Like I don't know,
That's so heavy.
Yeah,
Gosh.
It was just one of those things. I was just like, I think that they've always. I don't know.
Probably
Just
dealt
like
with
that's
it,
your
huh?
soft spot. That's mine. People have like dogs or whatever charity or whatever that was. So
Yeah.
I'm a terrible. I've never volunteered, even though I wanted to. I mean, everybody says what they want to do.
I
obviously,
know.
So.
Louis C.K. is a great bit about it.
Once I figure everything out. Yeah.
Louis, I love the bit from Louis C.K. where he's like, I just like the thought of being a good person. He's like, I have an instance. I fly first class. And there's always a military guy who gets on the plane.
Yeah,
and he's like, and he never says like, "Hey, thanks, asshole." He's always like, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir." And he always helps people put their stuff in there. And I sat there and I was like, I should offer him my seat. I should really give up my seat,
First class seat.
And that was it. I felt good about it. I felt good that I had thought about it.
Not that I actually did it. Just
No,
that
I
thought
about it, and I was very happy with myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So.
All right. Well, I think that's a great way to end it.
Yeah. I don't know. But this Friday nights with Jeff and Joe luckily did not go as long as some other ones have gone.
Yeah.
For those of you who would like to take a nap or whatever you do, although you're probably sleeping through this whole thing.
Yes.
But thank you as always for joining us here on all the random useless info you want to know. It's Friday nights with
Jeff
and Joe. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be on all the podcasts.
Yeah. So
services.
Paranormal Palaver is kind of our
sister podcast, which
and
we've talked
it's a
about
little
bit.
bit more involved, we'll say.
Yeah.
So we kind of focused on getting that up and going first. Krista has really been into the blogging thing, so she wanted to get that going. And Joe did a really good job, along with Nick's help, getting the RSS feed up and going. So that's all on Stitcher and iTunes. And
Well, see, and
every
the other
other
thing, too, is
podcast.
now that I found out that these RSS feeds just pull anyways, that I could just start putting this stuff up. We're making decisions right now here, folks.
He's
on
asking me a
radio.
question right now. You can be part of this.
Yeah.
Here's the poll
Should I
question.
just pick a logo? I mean, just
Yeah,
find
we
one of the
can.
big ones. And
Yeah.
we can always change it.
Yeah.
So
just what I would. Yeah.
because
I'm gonna-
it's literally all queued up.
just do FFNJ
Okay.
in bold letters.
Okay.
And make it black and white.
Perfect.
Boom, done.
All right. There you go, ladies and
So
gentlemen. That's
it'll get
our
posted
new logo.
soon. The other thing is, I would like some feedback. What you like? If we want to do rants or hots or nots, or if you like Joe and I just asking each other random questions and we talk about it.
Yep.
For us, it's an easy conversation builder. Sometimes we have stuff and we have guests on. Obviously, we talk about what they want to talk about. So, or if there's a random question you want to ask us, I know people want to get to know us better, and I think these questions do kind of give us let us show a side of us that maybe you wouldn't get if we talked about something that wasn't so personal.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that would be a cool way to kind of go through the podcast. And I know we've
Yeah.
done it a couple go. So if you have any feedback, we'd greatly appreciate it. We are on YouTube only as of right now, but
now, like I said, now that I know that, geez, I'll just look, because it's literally, like I said, it's all queued up on the website. All I have to do is push it.
Well, why don't you just do, like, even if you just do episode 20, like right now,
okay,
this one, then they can, because everybody who's already listened to this stuff has already listened to it on YouTube. Yeah. So it's my wife, your girlfriend, and maybe Krista.
My mom does.
Your mom does? Yeah. I put it on my dad's phone. I don't think he does.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually gonna help her out with that today.
So yeah, if you need anything from us, like us, comment us, whatever you got, please
let us know.
Appreciate
you want to come on?
So.
Hey man, we'll always open the door for you.
We've had a lot of guests lately.
We have.
We actually talked about how it was good that the guest canceled on us today.
We were gonna have one today
because Joe and I haven't sat down by ourselves. Oh man, I'm losing my voice. We haven't had just a Jeff and Joe day to ourselves in a while. So, but we are nice. We're gonna
good staring into your eyes.
It's beautiful. Yeah. We're gonna have guests on what I think next week, and then with the plan.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a couple queued up. That. Yeah, we'll make some phone calls, see what we can do.
Yeah. So. But if you want to join, feel free to let us know. I still really want to have the girlfriends on the way.
That'll be fun.
We're gonna find a day that they can talk smack
just
about all
Miranda
of us.
Just in there, like, yep. Nope.
I bet once they start talking bad about you and me, I think they're gonna go off.
Floodgates will open. And game over.
I think it'd be fun just to sit in the background and listen to them.
I know. And here you go.
Hey, we're done. That's all.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday nights with blah 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 blah.
Kate and Miranda. Yeah. We should create a list of questions that they should answer about us, and then make them read it off. It'd be so great.
Oh no!
What's the worst thing about Joe?
I'd be afraid to know those answers. Although I should know them.
We should do that. We should create a list of them and have them come on and talk. It'd be so funny.
In the future, ladies and gentlemen, no one knows what'll happen, but it's always bright. It'll be good.
Anyways,
thanks again for joining us here.
Thank you very much.
And we will catch you on episode 21 next. So, thanks for hanging around. Till next time.
Bye.